Hello and welcome to a very special video, everybody. So I'm here with Farvivian Guard. How's it going, Farvivian?
it's alive. It's a thing.
You know what I was doing today, Farv? I was looking at the Skeksis mechs that they revealed for the thousand.
Skexus Mex.
Yeah, clearly the Skeksis, because apparently they don't know what their own in-house style is. But
Oh,
And I had a kind of realization when I was looking at these horrible abominations and a personal insult to Thousand Sun players. And that realization was I don't think Games Workshop is really into 40K.
you don't fucking say.
I think they're really into Star Wars because they've turned the Space Marines into stormtroopers. And they're kind of starting to bleach out the stylings from a whole bunch of different factions and units. I even heard, let's just say, some talk around the water tank that the guy who did the some of the art and design for the Night Lords was talking about how they were kind of sterilizing them.
Sterilizing the Night Lords, huh?
Yeah, making them cleaner and more Amazon friendly.
Amazon friendly?
Well, you gotta, when you get in bed with big Amazon, you gotta make
Ugh.
sure it's really boring and generic.
Because it worked so well for the Rings of fucking Power.
Well, when you're already selling your soul and you haven't even made it big yet.
Ooh.
But I had this realization, and I'm like, I've been complaining all this time, going, this isn't in keeping with 40K. This isn't 40K. What are they doing? None of this makes sense. And then the realization that I don't think Games Workshop has people who like 40K working
Do
there.
you
That
think
they,
that
they have
Games Workshop has people who like anything even Warhammer adjacent?
they do not like Warhammer, and you can kind of pick up on it in the fact that they've made such drastic changes from basically telling people there's no canon to
Yeah.
the current books being atrocious, offensive garbage when it comes to the setting. The fact that they keep altering and changing and kind of sanding off all the rough edges and kind of making everything kind of generic and plasticky, which is funny when you talk about a
When
company
it's
that makes
plastic already,
plastic.
you know? Yeah.
I mean, I thought the point was to not make it look like plastic, but
I thought you wanted it to look, more vibrant and engaging. I mean, I know it's hard to make something vibrant looking when it's gray plastic unpainted, but you get my fucking point.
yeah, I was sitting there and I'm like, I can't even really say it's kind of retro into the old second edition and Rogue Trader era because it doesn't even really have that. It's like a bland wallpaper porridge that you've had kind of dropped in front of you, and the only times they ever get excited is when they're bringing out another overly done faction like the Space Wolves. Like I expected the Space Wolves to get a revision, but geez, right in the middle of air quote the year of chaos, and you put
Is
out like
not when you would expect to see something for, the fucking Astartes. What the fuck are you doing?
and they put out a number of designs that basically misunderstand all of the factions they're involved with to the point where people are kind of go, I mean, if I squint real hard, I kind of see that they're part of that faction, but I mean, we got Battletech Gothic robots. You have a weird mutant danger arm for the World Eaters, and then you have the one of the most dull Death Guards I've seen in a while. And I don't hate a dull Death Guard, but it's like they misunderstood the design concepts of all of them. And the only thing I can think of is there's no one with passion for 40K there anymore. In fact, we've moved past passion. We've moved past mild disinterest. I think we're just at people going, how
So you
much can we
saying that
cash in?
all corp and no brain makes a dull Death Guard?
Yes, yes, I do. Because I just look at it and I go, the only thing these people got excited about was the thing that they knew was going to sell like crazy because of the inbuilt audience. Like,
Ugh.
at this point, just put the Thousand Sons, the Death Guard, and the World Eaters out of their misery and just roll them back into the Chaos book and just
Ugh.
give them their extra units as upgrades to basic units. Because, I mean, when you're looking at these kind of releases and you look at the general releases over the system overall, and you kind of go, it feels like they're kind of bleaching out all the color. They're kind of turning it into a kind of a thin gruel, and they can't get excited except for the obvious marketing stunt. Yeah. But maybe
Yeah.
that's just me. I've been a Thousand Suns player for a while, so I'm kind
Yes, you
of
have.
used to nothing on top of nothing with my nothing sandwich. But my God, I mean, I don't know. I just don't see the passion anymore. And when you have the writers come out and they say there's no canon, when you have effectively the books that come out, they're just, why are they being made besides money? I get the money argument, but they're not 40K books. They're wank off books. When you see that they're more interested in trying to get Amazon to buy them than anything, I don't know. I just think at this point we're looking at in stage 40K. 40K is dead. You have new 40K. And
Ugh.
I don't think new 40K, like new Star Wars, is going to be a thing that lasts for as long of my life as old 40K did.
It's hard to imagine it. Clearly somebody's buying it. It seems to mostly be your average tournament whale players, I guess. But
And
what happens
Primaris
when
fans.
everybody else gets sick of this shit and nobody else is playing it?
I don't know. I want them to stop doubling down on Marines, but we're
Yeah,
not going to get there.
no,
So,
because that's the other issue. It reminds me of the old days of WoW where everything was the horde, the horde, the horde, and you started hemorrhaging alliance players.
or
And then the
we could,
horde players started going, "What are we fucking supposed to do if there's no other players?"
we could put it like this: it feels like Jedi with Disney. Throw a Jedi
No.
in it to get excitement. Yeah,
Yeah.
TM.
Great.
Well, I guess it's great for the people who like this stuff, and everybody else can go screw themselves. At least that's how it feels.
It definitely
But
feels that way.
that's all I got on this topic. I mean,
Oh, I got less than that, so
I don't think Games Workshop likes their own setting. So, thanks for joining us, everybody. Do you think that they lost their passion for it, or do you think these are obvious shows of just how excited they are for the setting? Let us know in the comments, and check out Fav's channel. And bye bye.
see you guys later.